today in the Interpreter Centre. We're after coming from Clara Bog, and we just dropped in here to have a look at the building and admire it. And I'm going to ask Ray now what his perspective of the bog is or was.
Well, I definitely, Brian, have two perspectives of Clara Bog. One related to me growing up, and the other then getting more involved in the whole development of the bog itself and trying to develop tourist attractions, because we have a lot of facilities that would allow tourists to conveniently visit the Clara and visit the bog. For me, the bog growing up was probably embraced just one annual experience or less, and that was the day we had to bring in the turf. My father bought a load of turf, very often from a local farmer. He had a travelling shop and he traded in groceries and bought the turf from some of the farmers. So, but then in the last about 5 or 6 years, I got involved at sort of committee level with yourself, Brian, one of the great leaders of it, and we developed and did up some of the walks, the bog walks, transgressing your bog, your area and fields, and looking at the history along that journey, the famine walk, and just the basic life alongside the walks, cattle, the stories that you would have recited, and what we ourselves heard, and they were all extremely interesting.
I want to see what perspective Bernie has on the bog, or what it means to her in this present time.
Well, Brian, the bog, it's a funny thing, the bog, because I think since time began nearly in Clara, the bog has been a catalyst for community engagement, even if it's in terms of, when I came down to Clara first, which was over 40 years ago, everybody went to the bog. Everybody went to the bog to cut their turf, they met each other on the bog. So the bog in itself created some different levels of community engagement. Of course, with the turf cutting stopped, and people now have a different awareness of the importance of the bog in terms of the ecology. They still engage with the bog, they engage with each other on the bog, just even going for a walk across the boardwalk, Tony's Hill. It's allowed different groups to engage with each other in terms of trying to protect the bog, work together, and it has allowed groups to enjoy the actual beauty of the bog and the walking on the bog and the fresh air. Age Action's one group that uses it quite often up there in Tony's Hill. The Scouts use it. I think every sector of the community use the bog, and of course the Heritage Society will be particularly interested in the bog because of the natural heritage that it is part of our town.
I'm just going to ask Anna what she thinks of Clara Bog, coming from South Africa. There's a vast difference.
An enormous difference. Now, Clara Bog was formed around about 10,000 BCE during the Mesolithic period. Now, this was a time of hunter-gatherers in Ireland, a time when people relied heavily on inherited knowledge to survive. And that, to me, is significant because in the 21st century, we have come full circle to realize how important the bog is to our survivals as the human species. And you know, when you walk on the bog on a day when you're alone, there's nobody else around you, and a storm rolls in and the rain starts and you feel the wind on your face, you can really see or feel and sense this veil of liminality that lifts. And it is a wonderful experience.
Tommy Minnick is here today, so I want to ask Tommy his remembrance of Clara Bog, or what he thinks should happen to Clara Bog in the future.
For me, when I see the bog, when I pass by the bog or when I'm out there, it does my heart good to see the amount of cars that are there, the amount of people who are on the bog, and that awareness for me is that people are aware of the bog. It's also, for me also, it warms my heart when I see the tour buses there, when I see the school children there. Because all those little inquisitive minds, that's the area you want to develop and encourage. I mean, I often seen photographs, drawings, paintings of children when they were on the bog, and there was a variation of snails and worms and butterflies and all the rest of it. So for me, that awareness needs to be introduced into the schools more so. I mean, there's nothing like the physical enjoyment of it and the physical presence.